Hi, my name is Kumarica Dutta and I'm a psychologist specializing in stress and crisis management. And I'm also a team member of your very own emotional well-being helpline. Today, I'm here to bust some myths that stops us from seeking mental health services. So, life has become very complex these days, and to keep pace with this complexity of life, we often find ourselves being out of resources or not well equipped enough to deal with the difficult life situation, which interferes with our physical well being as well as our mental well being largely. So, when we have a physical difficulty, we visit a doctor, take his advice, and if prescribed medicine, we take it. But when we have an emotional difficulty or we find a situation very challenging to deal with, out of our ability to cope with, we are supposed to seek mental health services. But we think twice before seeking it. Why? Because there are certain mistaken ideas or myths that stops us from seeking mental health services. So today, I am here to bust those myths with facts that stops us from seeking mental health services. So, the very first and very common mistaken idea that stops us from seeking mental health services is that people who are crazy visit mental health professionals or seek for mental health services. But the fact is, we all experience burnout from time to time, me, you, every one of us, and run out of personal resources to cope effectively and resourcefully with the demands of life. So, running out of resources doesn't make you crazy, it makes you human. The second and yet very common mistaken idea that stops us from seeking mental health services is that only weak people who cannot cope on their own seek help from mental health professionals. But the fact is, it takes inner strength and great insight to acknowledge and understand a problem and proactively and responsibly deal with it before it negatively impacts our well being. The third and yet another very common mistaken idea that stops us from seeking mental health services is that if I visit a mental health professional, what will others think of me? But the fact is, ask yourself this thing. If a lot of pimples comes out on your face and the products available in the market doesn't seem to work effectively on it, what do? You visit a dermatologist, right? So, in that case, would you think and feel the same way? What will others think of you? The fourth and yet another very common mistaken idea that stops us from seeking mental health services is that everyone will know that I'm seeing a mental health professional and everybody will come to know about my problem. But the fact is, the only person who will know that you're seeing a mental health professional is you. And there are strict code of ethics and confidentiality that the professional is bound.
The fifth mistaken idea is that they are all the same. All they do is talk, diagnose a disorder, and prescribe medicine. But the fact is, like an oncologist is specialized to treat cancer and a cardiologist is specialized to treat heart related problems, likewise, a psychologist or a therapist are specialized and trained professionals who help us learn skills to manage emotional and mental health challenges. They are not authorized to prescribe medicine, while a psychiatrist is a mental health professional who deals with much more complex and serious mental health issues and is authorized to prescribe medicine. The sixth mistaken idea is that if we visit a mental health professional or seek mental health services, we will be prescribed a medicine for our problem and it will be forever. But the fact is, every emotional concern doesn't require medication until it cannot be combated with other therapies, and the duration of the intake of medicine depends upon the severity of the problem.
The seventh mistaken idea that stops us from adhering to mental health services if taken or encourages us to discontinue taking mental health services that I don't want to take psychiatric medicine because it will last forever. But the fact is, if we were being diagnosed with a medical condition such as thyroid, blood pressure, or diabetes, in those medical conditions, the medicine prescribed lasts for lifetime and supports life. Likely, some psychological disorders can only be prevented, not cured, and in those cases the medicines supports life and living. The eighth mistaken idea that stops us from seeking mental health services is that why visit a mental health professional when you have friends and family? The fact is, friends and family are our biggest support system, but these relationships are two-way streets. which involve give and take. While a mental health professional's time is all about you, he or she can provide you with insight and also provide you with unbiased and impartial perspective to the problem while giving you a space to open up freely without the fear of being judged or criticized. There are certain mistaken ideas that we hold as friends, family, loved ones that stops us from being that support to people who are in need of mental health services, and also these ideas discourages them to seek for one when they are in need. The mistaken idea we hold as friends, family, or loved one is that how in the world can I help you? I'm not a psychologist, neither a therapist nor a psychiatrist. How can I help you? Yes, you can certainly help them. Reaching out and letting them know that you are there to help and support. Learning and sharing facts about mental health, especially if you know that something he or she knows is untrue. Refusing to define them with their diagnostic and encouraging them to seek mental health services if you feel that they are in need of one. That's how you can help.